Hello, in this video I will show you how to use the gig worker rideshare and delivery driver spreadsheet that I built. So I sell this on Etsy and also on my website. If you're interested, check out the link in the description. If you purchase this item on my website, it's a little bit cheaper and you get 10% off. So check out the link in the description. So I built the spreadsheet mainly for rideshare and delivery driver gig workers to track their finances, their income and expenses, and their mileage that they drive per month. And then from there you can see, are you making a profit or not? And not only that, but this spreadsheet can help you calculate your estimated tax payment, and you can choose between the standard mileage rate or the actual expense method rate. Okay. So first, what we're going to do is going to go over each of the tabs that you get when you purchase this item, and then we'll do an example. You can see how it works. Okay. So if you purchase this item, you get 2, 4, 6, 7 tabs. So the first tab here is basically the informational tab here. So you can read about it, and then so basically in here it explains there's 2 types of method that you can deduct for your mileage. So the first method that you can choose is standard mileage rate. So basically this is the most simple and popular method that most gig workers use, because you just subtract 67 cents per mile that you drive. But you do not need to, track your gas expenses or oil expenses or maintenance and repair or anything related to your vehicle. You do not record that, because you can just subtract 67 cents per mile that the IRS gives you. So the 67 cents is established by the IRS each year. So that's something you can check with the IRS website every year. And then you can just put that amount in this template, and they'll automatically calculate the standard tax deduction for your mileage. Okay. And then the other method you can choose is the actual expense method. So this one is more detailed and comprehensive in that you cannot deduct the 67 cents per mile, but you can but what you need to do is you need to track all of your expenses related to your vehicle very meticulously. So you track all your fuel, your oil expenses, your maintenance for your car, your insurance, registration fees, so and depreciation, and it's a lot of work. So that's why usually gig worker, they choose the standard mileage rate. Okay. So which method you decide, that's up to you. But I just want you to know that in this template, it lets you choose between the actual expense method and the standard mileage rate. Okay. And then so the next tab is the settings tab. So here's where you add in your gig platform. So here you can put in any company that you work with, Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Amazon Prime. You can put up to 10. So this information here will be part of drop-down menu in the revenue section. And then the expense category, you can set up to 25 expense category that's related to your delivery driving business. So here you can change any of the description to your that matches your business needs. Okay. So here is the revenue tab. So here's where you record the revenue and the fees that these platforms they take out, and then any tips that you get, and then it'll calculate the net payout for you. So here you can see with the gig platform here, there's a drop-down menu. So this drop-down menu matches the settings. So anything that you put here, it will be part of the drop-down menu here. Okay. And then the expenses here is where you calculate or you record your expenses for the day and the month that you drive, right? So here, this expense category is a drop down as well, and it matches whatever the setting here you put as here. And then here you can input the business expense percentage. So let's say you have a phone bill and it's $100. Out of that $100 is all that $100 for your delivery driving business, or only 90%. So you can put a percentage there. So if it's only 90%, you can put 90%, and it'll automatically calculate the deductible amount. All right. And the mileage, this is where you come in and you can calculate the mileage for each day that you drive or each month. So you can just put starting odometer and ending odometer, and it'll automatically calculate your total miles. And then the financial statement. Here you get a financial statement for the month and the quarter and the year. So it's very neat because it just automatically grab all the data from your revenue, expenses, and mileage, and then organize them into this financial statement so that you can easily see different key metrics. So you can see the mileage driven per the month, the quarter, your earnings per mile, your profit margin percentage, your revenue and tips, and then you have your direct costs. So these are all the platform fees. So these are all the fees that the Uber, Lyft, or DoorDash they charge you. And then your net payout is basically your revenue and your tips minus your direct costs, so which is the fees, right? And then here are the operating expenses. So then, and then it also shows you the net profit and loss before tax. So pretty much your net payout, your gross profit minus your operating expenses, your net profit and loss before tax. And then you have a tax summary here. So here, you can just select any deduction type. So if you want to go with the standard method, you can see that it calculates the mileage, right? Because with the standard, what you're doing is, or what you're saying is that, okay, I'm just going to take 67 cents per mile, right? Which is what the IRS give you. But if you do the actual, you're saying, okay, I don't want that 67 cents because I think if I calculate the actual expense method or if I record it meticulously, I know I'll get more tax deduction. So that's why if you choose actual expense method, you don't have a mileage deduction, right? You only have a business expense because you're recording all of your expense for your car in this business section already, okay? So you see you can choose between either or actual. So you don't have anything here in the mileage deduction. But if you choose standard deduction, then it will automatically calculate the mileage that you've driven for that quarter, and then it'll time that 67 cents, and that's your deduction, right? So this is your estimated taxable income, and then this is your estimated tax due. Is based on the percentage that you give them this template for your federal tax rate and then your state tax rate, okay? So it's pretty neat. So that's pretty much how it works. So we can do an example. So here we'll just go to settings. So I guess I'm okay with this, so I'm happy with that. And I'm happy with the description, so I won't change it. But you can change this description, right? You can change it to, you know, sample here, right? And then here it will go to part of the expense. So you can see sample be part of there. And then the financial statement, it will also be part of the financial statement. But I'm just going to put it back. I just wanted to show you. Okay, so I put it back here to tolls. So then I'll put it back and everything looks good. So I'm happy as is. So I'm just going to move on to the revenue. So here in the revenue is where you can record all your revenue information. So for example, let's just clear this out real quick and then we'll do an example up here of this very first one. So let's say you can put the date, right? 1/1/2035. You can put any date you want, and then gig platform. So here who we're driving for, you can pick any one of this. So let's say we're doing Uber, so we're doing deliveries, right? Then gross income, let's say we got $1,500 for that day, and then it's either you can put in how much they charge you as a fee for that delivery, or you can put in a manual amount. So let's say if they charge you 35% of it, right? They take their 35% cut, you can put that there. So that means they took out $525. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just do, you know, they took out $500 or whatnot, right? So this is your net payout. But if they do both, let's say take 35% and then they take out another $50 for a fee, right? So you have $575, and then you got any tip for that. Let's say you got $300 for tips. So this is your net payout, all right? And then your expenses here, you can just record any expenses. So let's just do an example. So we'll do 1/1/2035, and then let's say here we'll do fuel, and then we'll do Chevron, okay? And then amount, let's say we spend $275. And then if this is business 100% related to your delivery driving, then you can just leave it alone. You can also put 100 and it'll calculate 100, right? 100%. You can leave it alone and also understood as 100%. But let's say, you know, you only use like 90% of that for your delivery, then you can put 90, and that means that only 90% of this 275 is actually business related, right? Or your delivery related, and the other 10% is personal, okay? All right, and then mileage here, very easy. You can go in and enter just the date, any date. So we'll put one here as an example. let's say you drove a little bit more. So let's say you drove 1,000 miles, let's say. So we can do, let's say our starting odometer was 32,100, and then it'll be 33,100, for example, right? So you get 1,000 miles. So total for January, you should have 2,200 miles. So it's this plus this, right? So you see on the financial, you can see 2,200 miles. So it automatically pull the data over here and organize it into a neat financial statement for you. And then here you don't really need to do anything, because here the formulas, it's already automatically pulling in the data. Here you can have a start month. So let's say, you don't, and usually a business starts from January to December, a 12-month period. But some business, they can start from June. So you can do June as well as a starting month, right? But I'll just put it back as January. And here you can select any year you want to look at, right? Because this template, you can use it for 50 plus years. I would say it goes all the way up to 2050. So you can keep inputting data, and then you can just see which year if you're looking at January 2026. The reason why it's all blank, because I didn't put any data for 2026, right? I only put data for 2035. So once you pick 2035, you can see the data for 2035. So it's very smart. It just pulls in the data for any year and month that you selected, okay? And tax summary is the same. So this year here will always match the year that you set here, okay? And then here you can pick any method you like that we talked about earlier. And then here you just input in your estimated federal tax rate and your state tax rate, and then the IRS standard mileage rate if you're using the standard method, right? So you can pick the standard method, and then it automatically calculates your estimated tax income, and then tells you what the estimated tax payment due is. So basically that's how the template works, and I think this would be very helpful for delivery driver or rideshare gig worker, so that they could track their finances and see how many miles they drive in a month. So I hope this is helpful. If you're interested, check out the link in the description. Thank you.